All right. Good morning, folks. How you doing? Hope everybody's doing well. Thank you for being here today. I decided I was going to show this. If you object, put a one in chat, and I will. I already froze my camera. I will. I will cease and desist this and put a picture of a coin up. Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you all for being here. Today we're going to be talking about. Man, my camera's really freezing. I need to find out what's going on with that. I may have to stop sharing this. I think I have too much stuff open.
Yeah, you're a little behind, a little laggy.
Yeah, I think it's. I have a lot of different stuff open for the presentation, so we'll keep it open. If it keeps freezing, then it is what it is, and I'll just have to live with it. All right. So let me do this really fast. Paula and Eric, good morning. How are you guys?
Good morning.
Good morning.
You guys doing well?
Mm-hmm.
Doing perfect. What a day.
Last night I got bored and said, I'm going to teach some people about coins. And pulled out the new scope and got to talk with everybody about what was happening with some of the coins. Looked at some copper coins examples of things that I've gotten, some identified pieces that I have, whether they be slab or whether they be things that we've identified, coin searches or whatnot, and kind of walk through how to find them and how to use them. It was a lot of fun. David Carlisle, good morning. Jack Riley, what's up, good sir? Hope you're doing well.
Good morning.
Ron, Steve, good morning. Hope you guys are doing all right. Freaking awesome! Just dropped live coin Q&A in chat. Thank you so much
awesome.
for doing that. Freaking awesome! Greatly appreciate you, brother.
Good morning, Mike.
Mr. Noodleman is in the house. Good morning. I seen Jack Young here just a few moments ago. How are you doing? Good to see you. As you're blue, always, brother. Good to see you. Hope you and family are doing well as well. Paula, he says, hope your family's doing well. How is your daughter? Let's get an update on her.
She's amazing. My stepdaughter is amazing. That's all I can say. That girl is tough. She's healing. She still uses a walker for the most part to get around, but that, that will change. She's home. She has a nurse that comes and she goes to physical therapy but she's got all her staples out now and yeah, she's amazing. And I'm telling you guys, I saw pictures. I kind of wish I hadn't, but that girl was flayed. It is amazing that she's alive. I just cannot believe it. She is a miracle. God's got great plans for her.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm glad she's doing better.
That's great to hear.
My son's dog has ringworm, though. How's that?
Yay.
That's great
right
news.
on the top of her nose.
That's
She's
lovely.
outside right now. She'll be outside for the next week or so. Yeah.
Well, let's go through and say hi to the rest of folks. I've got a lot to dig into. Neil, good morning. Groundfog, good morning. DGS MMA, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here. Siren, as always, in both chats, thank you so much for monitoring and modding for me. I do appreciate that. I'm going to have to kill my camera because it is just lagging horribly. Mark Lewis, Woodsy, good morning. John Shank, how are you doing? Good to see you. Already said hi to Mike, good morning. Big Flip was in here earlier, re-upped as a channel member. Thank you for doing that, Big Flip. Greatly appreciate you. Ron AZ, good morning. AZ Coins. Azure, I already said hi to you. Let's see, who am I missing? Am I missing somebody? Luther Blankenship is in the house. Good morning, Luther.
Which ones is he in? Which one's he in?
He's in the normal wide screen.
Oh, I missed him. Good morning, Luther.
Ink Man, good morning. How are you doing? I think I've said hi to everybody. If I've missed you, then I do apologize. But I want to go ahead and dig right in to a discussion that was had yesterday, a comment that was made. And the comment was regarding the information that I had kind of talked about regarding what the role of the mint was and what the mint is supposed to do and how that looks and what's supposed to be accomplished and why it's supposed to be accomplished this way. And one of the comments, Mohammed, good day. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, what's up, Dandy Dave? Good to see you. Appreciate you coming in. One of the comments that was made was nice theory. It'd be nice to know. And I was, well, hold on just a second. It's not a theory. I've done a lot of research on this. And I thought that it would be important to kind of share this with you and make sure that you understand. First and foremost, y'all, I do tons and tons and tons of research in looking at various reports, looking at congressional law, looking at what's happening within the substructure of government that is finance. We're going to talk about the Senate Banking, the House Committee and Services Chair. I watch and monitor this stuff. Why? Because I like to know what's happening with our coinage. Now, what I get into is really deep, and I'm not going to go into super deep for you guys, but I am going to show you the resources. I have 5 tabs across the top that we're going to be talking about, and all of these are public resources. Every one of you has access to this information. There is nothing here that I have privy information to. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Pardon the pun. Okay, I'm not promoting the privies. Unless you got a P, and then you can go see the privy. So we go up to the annual report. Now this is 2024. Mike, look at this, your favorite person. Da, 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 da. The former director, Ventress Gibson, was the one who coordinated this report, and she talks about the various people, what's supposed to happen, look at her staff, and then we get into what are the requirements, what are the mission. Azura's like, so what is their mission? Well, to mint America's economic growth, or to enable America's economic growth and stability by protecting the assets. Okay, we talk about this, right? Stackers are very aware of this word. Assets, silver, gold, numismatic, whatever, entrusted to us manufacturing coins, metal to facilitate national commerce. Okay, that is their mission. That is not the only thing that they do. And why do I say this? Well, when you get into the report, it actually talks to you about various items that are required. But what I want to show you is this. And I know that I'm going to zoom in just a hair to make it a little bit easier for you to read in portrait mode. And my screen keeps jumping in and out. I've got a driver issue that I'm still working on. So if I stop talking, it's because I can't read my screen. But if you look at, there are one primary mission, and then there are 4 subsets of that mission. And in the subsets of that mission, become more clear about what actually the process of the mint is. What are they supposed to do? So if you look at this, you look and see right here, what are they talking about? Well, the men and the women are supposed to create circulating coinage, precious metals, and collectible coins to meet the needs of the United States. Now, we've talked about the Secretary of the Treasury. And the Secretary of the Treasury, who oversees the mint, has the ultimate right to say yes or no to whether or not they are going to mint coins in that given time frame. It may be a month, it may be a quarter, it may be half a year, it may be a full year, it may be 2 years. And they say, we have enough, we have a surplus, we don't need them. Okay, and they're tied to that, they're locked into that. And their lines of operation, well, we know them, right? We speak to them all the time. Circulating bullion and numismatic coins. Now, when we talk about circulating coinage, again, legal tender, this is something that they're creating, and they show you the revenue that they've made over the last 5 years. And you'll see that the revenue has continued to drop. There was a massive, massive, massive loss between 23 and 24. You'll see that in the reports, but it's not the worst year. We've had other years that were really bad. If you look at 2020, the revenue in dollars, when you're talking about bullion, 2020 took a bigger hit than 2024. So there are situations that they have to track, they have to monitor. Okay, so we'll get into exactly why they do this. Numismatic products, well, check out here. Here's the thing. If you look at the chart, it looks like the numismatic products are higher, but you have to look at the numbers, folks. Okay? The United States Mint does way more for bullion than they do numismatic products. Why is that important? Well, everybody's like the collector, the collector, the collector, the collector. A majority of what they're sending, a majority of what they're targeting isn't the numismatic collector. It's that shiny silver, ooh, look at this, it's pretty. It's pretty, right? Because that's what they're selling. American Silver Eagles, American Gold Eagles, it's all here. It's all in the bullion.
Well, those technically are both bullion and numismatic.
Yeah, well, they fall under the semi-numismatic realm because they're bullion-based. But yeah. And so when you look at the numismatic products, you're looking at those particular items that, they're here. But here's the one that everyone forgets, and this is answering the comment the other day. Seigniorage and net income. Okay, the seigniorage is the difference between the face value and the cost of producing the circulating coinage. The mint transfers the seigniorage, the excess money, to the general fund to help finance the national debt. The national income from bullion and numismatic operations can also fund federal programs. This confirms exactly what was stated yesterday, in that the goal, the mission of the mint is to be profitable. They are a funding source for other government products that are tied to that same financial institution, the Federal Reserve, or not the Federal Reserve, excuse me, the Secretary of the Treasury, right? The Treasury Department. You're looking both. In the mint is obviously coinage, and then you have the Bureau of Engraving and Printing, which has the same basic mission, the same basic structure, except instead of minting coins, they're printing the bills, right? So again, their mission here is to be profitable because they are required by law to transfer any seigniorage, any excess monies that they have earned over to the National or the Treasury General Fund.
Can I interject something, Frosty?
Fire away.
That started in 1996 with the passing of the Public Enterprise Fund.
I've got a whole bunch of laws and stuff that tie all this stuff together. And it actually started before that.
Yeah, it did. But this is a slightly different act. Before that, the operations were done through Congress, and anything made was basically used to finance other expenditures of the government. They didn't actually have an actual fund where all the money came in, and at the end of the year, they cut a check into the general fund.
Right. So why is this important? Well, it's important for a couple reasons. So if we come down here and we look at the 2024 performance overall, there was a 27% loss last year. 27%. And we're talking about a massive amount of money. Now, mind you, you're talking about $3 billion was the revenue, and you're looking at a 27% loss to $2.9 billion. That's a huge amount of money. A quarter loss is significant. Well, but 2,000 million is...
Revenue was 3-something million.
Okay, but 3,000 million is 3.3 billion.
Oh, never mind. I can't see that. That's too small. I can't see the little. Never mind.
That's okay. No worries. Math is hard. No, I'm just kidding. I know it's the screen. I'm just kidding. I'm messing with the two people with eye issues are messing with each
other. I know. Carry on. That Paula.
So, but the reason that this is important is because, folks, when I tell you that I research and follow this, I seriously mean I research and I follow this. Because it's important to understand, we're looking at the cent and what's going to happen. I'm going to show you a report that was done in 2024. These are biannual reports. They happen every 2 years. And this is something that the Treasury, as well as the United States Mint and the Bureau of Engraving, are required by law to produce a report and let everybody know what's happening within the Mint. Now, if you guys are interested in learning about pattern coins and the testing of metals and all the other stuff, follow the congressional report. This Senate report tells you so much cool stuff. We'll get to that here in just a minute. But if you like that stuff and you want to be aware of it, and you want to track it, man, you guys need to be tracking this stuff. All right. You know what I'm going to do? Today is do you believe tomorrow is September 1st?
I know. That's a good point, though, you guys. Do your own homework.
Yeah.
Like if you hear something, you're going to hear how many different versions of this, they're getting rid of the penny, have we heard?
Yeah.
Do your own research. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Nope, nobody really knows.
All right. So Michelle Garrity, Being Becky, Dean R, Papa York, and Jimmy Snowdog, congratulations on your memberships. It's the last day of the month. I still had 5 I needed to send those out. So congratulations. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Matt Winch, what's up? Good morning. Thank you for being here. And congrats to the new members. Okay, so again, massive decrease, right? So they weren't necessarily profitable. Now, this is with circulating coinage. Okay, we're talking about the circulating coinage here, and we're looking at where were they at in retrospect. Coin shipments decreased 44.1%. No, we're not going to be going over the report in massive detail, so don't worry. I'm not turning this into a deep dive, so to speak. But I do want you all to understand kind of what's happening with the coins and where these things are coming from. We look at the bullion coins. We're going to see that the products increased again. Where's the primary sell? What's the Mint looking to do? Push bullion. Okay, and that is evident in the numbers. That's where their money is, and that's where some of the big stuff happened. Now, who can tell me in chat one event that happened in 2024 that really helped push this number up? Anybody?
Helped push which number up?
This number.
Numismatic sales. Oh.
Those increased numbers. John says Nichols. Woodsy says Trump. Mike says Bueller. Jack Riley, the flowing hair. Ding, 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 ding. The flowing hair was a massive hit. And if you remember, even though they were gold coins, when you look at the information that was there, they had an $8 million woodfall from 230 coins.
Yep, from those privy gold.
Okay.
Yep.
No, not the 2025 flowing hair, Jack Young. That is popular for another reason, of which we have talked about for a long time. Yeah, there is no 2025 flowing hair, folks. He is just joking. Okay, let's remember he's the counterfeit guy. He's got some dad jokes.
He's got jokes.
That's funny though. That really was funny. Nicely played, good sir. But again, now we look here and we look at the general fund. Now I want you to take a look at this number. We're talking about billions of dollars in transactions in bullion and the generation of coins and things like that. What was the transfer to the general fund? $50 million. Out of all the billions of dollars that go through, a majority of that turns into circulating coinage, production cost, and the sale of bullion, but they only surplused 50 million. Now, do you consider the Mint profitable? Well, some people would say, well, 50 million, that's a pretty hefty chunk of change. Well, when you're talking about government 15 million is a good fair chunk of money. But when you're talking about the Bureau of Engraving and Printing, you're talking about the Mint, you're also talking about the Treasury, you're talking about all these programs, you're talking about equipment, timelines, repair. Eric, you used to do technical writing, right?
Yep.
You have a certain uptime cycle, and then you have a maintenance and sunsetting cycle. And so equipment has to be refurbished, right? So you have to look at changes of a technology and all these other things. They have to be somewhat self-sufficient. Okay.
Azure. Gosh.
No, he did not like. Can you guys tell that he wasn't a huge fan of Ventress Gibson?
Yeah.
And again, when we go to the opposite side, another guy who's very knowledgeable, Mike and Matt, they got to interview her, said she was an absolute sweetheart.
Everybody who's met her said she's an absolute
sweetheart. I met her at the Fun Show 2 times, and she was a wonderful human being.
Yeah.
She's a very nice person, and I think she did a great job. Do I think she should be out? I don't actually have a preference because
that's a 5-year term, right? So
I look at things differently.
Far from her end of her 5 years, was she?
I don't know. Well, she resigned, I think, out of protest.
She was ousted by force voluntold is what we like to be. Yeah,
and that's me. I don't ever judge anybody by left or right. I think it's kind of dumb.
Well, but, so.
That's what, to me, do they do a good job?
Yeah. Every administration probably wants their own.
Well, sure, because that makes them look better.
Director of the Mint. Well, they, not just that, but they want people that fall in line with what they're trying to do and their policies and everything else. And
sure. Okay.
And they want to be able to have that person for the majority of their term.
But let's remember why. But let's remember why Ventress was asked to leave.
Well,
DEI.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, that was the whole premise behind that. And it wasn't her. It was because of the policies that she had implemented in her tenure regarding DEI. When Trump came through and said that we're removing this DEI policy, which in many cases was unfair, and it did uncover some pretty crappy practices, people manipulating the system, changing their titles, removing things from their position descriptions. It actually uncovered some pretty shady stuff at the Mint.
But my only point was just that if you have somebody who has a 5-year term and a new administration comes in and the person that's serving that term doesn't necessarily, all of their beliefs and their policies and everything doesn't necessarily fall in line with that person, I don't care whether you're Republican or Democrat or whatever you are.
The Fort Knox was done during the last Trump administration.
But if they still have a year left in their term, then that means that the new administration only gets 3 years. You know what?
Not necessarily. Yes, the administration, but they could be elected to a second term, or there's a lot of ways.
This administration only has 1 term.
That happened under Ventress that people don't realize is that the Mint did lose money in 2023.
No, it is not a political. That's correct, Mike. It is not a political, but they are
their tools.
They are appointed and have to be confirmed. So it kind of is a political position because they have to be appointed and they have to be.
They become a subset of the cabinet is basically what happens, right? And so if you look at cabinet members for the presidency are not voted for, they are appointed. And there's a lot of government-based positions that are appointed for and not voted on. And in order to be appointed,
there is a vote. It's just called confirmation.
Yeah,
but it's Senate confirmation. It has nothing to do with voting, the people voting. Yeah, that's why it's not a public office.
And
not in that fashion.
Our new Mint director has not been confirmed.
No, we just have the acting one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me get back on topic. We've squirreled. I've got a lot to go over.
Yeah, squirrel.
I want to get back on topic. All right. So Eric talked about an act, the one that actually requires the Senate to receive information from the Mint. Not this is specifically from the Mint, but this is actually the Treasury that actually has to kick out this report. And I'm not going to go over this one because this one gets really, really, really deep into the weeds. And it's not an excessively long report. It's something that you can read. It's 30, 35 pages, not a big deal. Everybody has the opportunity to dig into this. But what's cool about this particular report is that it actually talks about the various metals that they're testing. You can actually look at what's happening in this particular arena. You can see the 80-20, and they give you the breakdown of what they're looking at. They tell you the item number that they're looking at. Now, I don't know what this designation is. It's definitely copper nickel, but I don't know what that alloy. They haven't, completely specified exactly what that is. But they have to test all sorts of things, and they tell you what happens. You got Mint testing. You have acceptance machines, and this is where I was telling you, Eric. They have to make sure that any coin acceptor or distributor has to be checked. They cannot issue any kind of planchet that requires a major overhaul for vending, coin distribution, change giving machines, anything like that. They cannot create something. Yep, they have to test that, and they have to make sure that it comes in. Again, their purpose is to be profitable. They have looked at the copper-plated steel penny, right, to mirror some of the stuff that's happened with some of the other coinage across. And then in each status, and I really like this chart, this is the only thing I really want to show you, is they talk about the potential savings of each item, what they did, what's the good thing, and what's the bad portion of it. And what's good about this is, again, I try to give you guys information, and then you make up your own minds. I am never going to tell you you should feel a certain way. I'm going to give you the facts. I'm going to provide you the information. I will tell you how I feel about it. Y'all know I'm opinionated, not a big deal. However, I want you to understand I'm just giving you what I understand the facts to be. You are under the obligation of finishing your own research and determining that. Okay? And I will always do my very best to stay in that line, maintain that level of integrity, because it's important to me. I don't want to be one of these channels that, and Paul and I joke about this when it comes to, predicting silver price or what we think we thoughts are based off of projections and strategies. She can't stand doing that because she doesn't like doing that. That's fine.
It goes up, it goes down.
Yeah, and that's very simple. But there's complex analysis that happens when you're looking at stock markets and investing and what affects gold and silver. And a lot of people run their mouth with stuff. I want to provide you the information and let you guys determine what it is that you want to do. That's my whole premise.
Yeah.
Now, what's cool about this is they tell you the good and the bad. They tell you that the transition is basically seamless. The alloys visual, it's something that has to be created, but you can go get it. We have to modify it a little bit to fit our need, but you can basically get it off the shelf. Oh, and by the way, this one right here that saves almost $4 million, which isn't a huge chunk of change. It's a fairly small, insignificant amount when looking at it. It is more resistant to counterfeiting. Oh, this might be something that Jack Young is interested in, or maybe Jack Riley. Maybe they want to follow up and look at what's happening with this. So they tell you various aspects of what's going on. And if you're going to be doing things like large-scale testing or strip mining or strip manufacturing, those are all the kind of items from this. If we look at all the things that come through here and we look at, what's happening at each mint, they talk about the system repairs. They talk about the things that they're doing to the dies to ensure the longevity of the die. Again, these are all of the process improvement stuff, and I'm a process improvement guy, that tell you what they're doing. If you really want to know what the hell is going on in the coin and the numismatic world, this report tells you a ton of stuff. a ton of stuff. But it all is because of a congressional requirement. And this happened at the 111th Congress, and it's to look at what's here, right? It's a requirement for the Treasury, both the Mint and the Bureau of Engraving and Printing, to be profitable, to look at and again, this particular one talks about the Mint, but the Bureau of Engraving has the exact same thing just in there. Yeah, that's true, Mike. The Bureau of Engraving Printing has their own public law, but it's the exact same verbiage. It's just related to currency instead of circulating coinage. It talks about exactly what's supposed to happen. Any changes to the coins, any changes to the methodology, any changes to production. Oh, and what's number 3? The legislative change that goes along with the requirement to do each one of those items. Remember, people talk about the penny, but there's no legislation yet ending the penny. Until the legislation happens, it's just a review. It's just a test. It's one of the things they're required to go through. This is normal business for the Mint. This is not the first time the penny has been said that it's going to go away. It's
Since
actually
the 70s. It's happened.
it's quite a few times. Yeah. So this is nothing new. There is actually legal requirement for them to do this. And again, this isn't a theory. This is coded in a biannual report that is required every 2 years to really put that away.
And I'll let you in on another little factoid. Do with it what you will. It is also not the first time that the U.S. Mint has toyed with metal composition in coins.
Oh no, that's frequent.
And it would not surprise you or me to know that there are circulating coins out there that have a little bit of a tinkered metal composition in your change, and you would not even know it. If the U.S. Mint today changed the composition of the nickel or something like that ever so slightly, nobody would ever know.
Until they told you.
If they reduced the amount of nickel in the nickel or the amount of copper, nobody would ever know.
Because they're minute amounts. The coin still functions the same. Yeah.
And somebody decided to test it, like Joe Cronin.
Do you want to talk about somebody who likes to get into the weeds?
Yeah.
Joe likes to dig. So again, why do I do all of this? Number one, I want you guys to be well informed. Okay. And Paula and I have talked about the penny. We've talked about other coinage for quite some time, ever since the Thanksgiving airplane trip where, I'm getting rid of the penny. We've talked about this. We've looked at the numbers. We've monitored this very carefully. We've gone back and forth. God, how many times have we talked about this, Paula? Probably 200-300.
Well, everybody's talking about it, right? I mean,
well, but I'm talking about you and I actually looking at the mintages and digging through and what's happening, and we go down some rabbit holes.
A little bit more than just talk about it. Yeah, we've done a little bit more than just talk about it.
And so, one thing that's really important, and as your Blue is in here, attorney understands the legalese of speak. There is a entity in the government through the Senate. Now, the Senate is named different than the House. The House is, I think, it's called the Financial Committee, and in the Senate, it's called Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs Committee. But these two committees are the ones who basically vote on and do requirements. And if you want to know more, again, I'm going to put all these links in the description so that you can actually look at kind of digging into some of these items. But you can look at all of the various legislations, and you can sort this by year. You can sort this by legislative session. If you want to, look specifically. Again, now I use this and I follow this because I'm looking at the Common Sense Act, and I want to see what's happening with the market analysis that's being done with the pennies, and I want to kind of look at stuff like this. Matt Winch, who has the final say on what stays or what goes, like the penny? Congress. Congress. Yeah. It is an act. It has to be either a public act. It can't be a presidential declaration. It's not one of the executive orders that can be issued. The Secretary of the Treasury does have the opportunity to say, we are not going to, we are not going to mint any more of these pennies because we have a surplus.
We have enough. Yeah.
Yeah. And so he can absolutely say that we're not going to produce any more pennies. We have enough right now. Now, when you looked at Abram, good morning, binge watched Frosty, very informative. Outstanding. I like hearing that. Thank you so much, Abraham. I appreciate you. Yeah, no problem, Matt. One of the things about this that is important is when you're looking at the coins, the cents, when you're looking at what's happening, where they at, what's happening, where they're going. I said what's happening like 7 times.
What's happening? Hot stuff.
You need to understand that there's multiple committees inside a primary committee. So they have to have somebody look at public opinion. They have to look at the financial obligations. They have to have somebody analyze the technical makeup and where are they in the, if they remove this, how is this going to affect, second and third order level of effects? What's going to happen to this? They can't just think about removing it. What's going to be about the dollar? What's going to happen to, are we going to have to adjust change machines? Are we going to have to adjust the way inflation works? Oh, by the way, let's look at the pricing. If it's 1 and a 2, it goes down. If it's a 3 and a 4, it goes up. If it's a 6 or a 7, it goes down. If it's an 8 or a 9, it goes up. Now, these are all been listed. They're part of the requirements. They're part of the initial act. And so they have to come up with all this stuff. They have to talk about all of this stuff. But until they have voted, until they get all the information back, all the reports done, they've done the reviews, until they do this, vote on it, and pass public law, it's just an idea. It's just part of the process of what the Mint's job is, the Bureau of Engraving and Printing's job is, the Federal Reserve's, or not the Federal Reserve, I always say that wrong, the Treasury's job, which is to constantly review, look at, identify, and make corrections. It's called process improvement. Okay, and they have a requirement to do that, and that's extremely important. So when we look at these things, again, it's supposed to be one of those things. I don't know why the subscribe thing showed up there. I apologize on that. But I wanted to walk through this because, again, yesterday in chat when I saw the comments, and I know Chad didn't mean anything negative by it. It's just good theory, right? Where's the details? I want you guys to know that I have dug into this probably way, way, way deeper than I needed to, but nowhere near as deep as I could go. There's a lot of information. There's a lot of nuance. Now, the last thing that is here is coin modernization. And again, if you want to just search it, you can go to coin modernization, go to congress.gov, and you can actually pull up this particular act. Again, I will be putting the links in the description afterwards. So if you want to look at it, you can go look at it, go check it out, dig into these elements yourself. But it's really easy to Google. You can find this. You can find all the items. Look at the various amendments that have been made. and you have the ability to fully understand what the obligation, what the requirement of the mint actually is. So, what you're saying, Paula?
Oh, sorry. Good times. Ain't we lucky we got 'em? Good times.
So,
oh boy, I miss my calling. I know, you guys. Just saying.
but anyway, I wanted to share this with you. I wanted to take the first 30, 40 minutes of this show and kind of just talk about, what really is the mint's objective? Because I think a lot of people just think it's to do coins. It is, but there's a lot more to it. It's actually pretty in depth, and it's pretty straightforward. So I hope you guys like that. I hope you guys enjoyed.
I did. I really like, I like that kind of stuff. But
Another little trivial piece, 2023 was the only year they didn't contribute to the general fund.
That's a fact. The contributing fund was zero. And do you know why that is?
I do not.
So there were two things happening in 2023. And one of them was, and I'm going to have to, I keep freezing on the Facebook side. So I'm going to kill my camera and just do this because my camera keeps freezing for some reason. There were some investigations that were going on and looking at what was happening. There were major changes, major overhauls. But there was also a massive redesign that occurred. You guys remember the redesign?
You mean for the website?
The website.
Yeah.
They put so much money into the redesign and the reconfiguration of the website because when they released stuff the year prior, it completely and utterly disintegrated in front of everybody. It was a horrible travesty. And
well, they were still recovering too, weren't they, from the bid? The bid.
Well, yeah. So there were after effects from that.
Redesign of the U.S. Mint. Thank you, Ventris Gibson, of their website was the single best thing in my lifetime.
That's fact.
The U.S. Mint has done.
She pushed.
That was a disaster.
She pushed really, really, really hard, and a lot of people don't understand. And there was quite a bit of money, but she told them, she goes, "If we don't get this, we're never going to be profitable."
Oh, that was a disaster.
And she went to bat and did a full-on web redesign amidst some very tumultuous times. And I mean, it got ugly. They were talking about selling, getting rid of the stores, getting rid of numismatic products. They talked about getting rid of certain things. Like, it got really nasty for the Mint for a while. And Ventris was in a very difficult position. But the one thing that she really did, if you really want to talk about that one positive thing that came out of that, was that website.
When they released the Morgan Dollars in 2021, which was a huge event, a much awaited event. Like, people have been talking about it for years. I remember even signing the little petition for it. When they finally did release it, that website was a disaster.
It crashed.
It crashed and crashed. And I mean, people were furious.
Yep, they were livid.
Furious. So when she finally got that straightened out and fixed, it made a huge difference. It made all the difference. That waiting room is, I know people still get upset with that. Oh my gosh, I had to wait for an hour or whatever. So Luther, I do think you probably have a good point there. It probably is one of the reasons why the prices are a little bit higher. But Mike, I don't know what Paul Hollis is going to be able to do. I know that you're a huge Ventris Gibson fan. I have high hopes for what Paul Hollis is going to do, just from a collector's standpoint. I have high hopes. So I'm kind of one of those people that, like, I'll sit back and wait, and I will refrain from trying to pass any judgment until like actions. I see actions.
The only
I'm not gonna make him a failure before he is even started.
the only concern that I have with Paul Hollis is people's viewpoint of him regarding something that Mike said yesterday, which was that he hawked coins. He wasn't a dealer, he hawked coins. And again, selling technique and the way that stuff was done, I fully get why it was said that way. And when we look at who the primary population collectors, numismatic collectors, or your hardcore stackers, right? The people that are really trying to prepare for major events. These people are no BS, bottom line. They can't stand that kind of stuff. I'm a little concerned about that aspect of him, but I think that Ventress didn't claim to be a collector. She wasn't a collector. She was actually just looking at making some processes work. And the one thing that I learned about Ventress in the video, and if you guys, Mike, do me a favor, if you have the capability to do that.
She was great PR. People liked her.
Yeah, but if you'll do me a favor, Mike, put your link to your video, or if somebody can go do the research for me real quick. Go grab the link to the interview that he did with the interview with Ventress Gibson, along with Matt. Oh my God, I almost forgot Matt's name.
Yeah.
Where the hell is Matt? Why doesn't Matt come in here? Shame on him. No, he's probably doing coin. Yeah, but he's probably doing coin shows and stuff like that too. He's a busy dude.
Or something.
But the whole premise was, what is the end result? What was she brought in to do? There were other issues at the Mint at the time frame that they were trying to resort through. There were things, some adaptations for security that were being implemented. I did a story a little while back regarding the photo thing and some of the adaptations that were happening, some of the Mint products that are happening, some of the technology.
Some of the Mint products that she has put through, I cannot stand.
You're right. So
there is good to her and there is bad, just like with anything.
And so, again, we talk about why was she asked to leave? Now, again, who we should have asked to leave wasn't necessarily Ventress Gibson. I think it would have been most of the voting members on the CAC. My opinion only. Take it and leave it as you will. But they're the ones who vote on the designs. And if you've ever been to a CCAC, now, when I talk about CAC, I'm not talking about the professional grading company, CAC. I'm talking about the CCAC, the board that actually meets. They go over, they evaluate the coins, look at the designs, they vote on it.
Advisory committee.
Yeah, they're
which you can watch online. They have their meetings.
You can watch the meetings. I would rather get drunk and watch paint dry.
Boy, no kidding.
Because the meetings are horrible.
Yeah, you can predict what all the questions and answers are going to be.
National security,
Homeland security. Right? What does this person think?
And it used to be a whole lot of what is the DEI component of this. It got really, really heavy towards that for a while. And if you look at the semi-quincentennial displays, you'll see it. It was evident. And you'll see it in a lot of different items. Oh, Mike just texted me the link. Unfortunately, I can't pull that off my phone to post it. But give me just a second. Let me do this. Let me copy. Let me get over here to YouTube on my phone.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday.
I'm going to post this, but I got to do it from my phone.
So ain't this a peach?
Speaking of peaches, you guys want to see a fun video? Go check out my Redfield hoard. That guy loved peaches. That's a great story.
I could eat a peach for days. Who said that?
Okay, there's the link. That link was just thrown in. That's the link to the Coin Show podcast interview.
Happy Sunday, Mark Lewis. Yeah, I know, John Hannah. I think this was a sleeper. This was a sleeper coin or metal, but
I
coin if you got the gold. Azure Blue got both, and the gold is beautiful.
I wish I'd have
But
had the coin roll to buy the gold. The gold, that's a phenomenal piece. Yeah, it's pretty.
wait till you see when I get my ANA coin too from Ascension Islands.
You know, you need to quit talking about that because I wasn't able to get one.
I know, but you can get one still. But just wait. Don't go right now because the ones that are on eBay they're asking outrageous amounts and it'll go down just like it did the one from last year. And I don't know that Minted Assets is going to be selling any of the silver ones this year on their AppMex has the silver ones for like 125, I think, or something like that. It is magnificent. It really is. And it's got a little bee, a little tiny bee right there.
Red Silver. Paul is bad mouthing the mint, and now you're praising the Liberty Medal.
I don't badmouth the mint. I badmouth certain products.
I think some of the decisions that were made were very politically charged.
I do badmouth certain products. But I've never look, you guys know I buy proof and mint sets every year. I did not buy the silver proof set this year. They priced me out of it, unfortunately. So I will wait a year and I will buy it on the secondary market because it will go down. Well, hopefully. It's going to depend on silver and stuff, but they did price me out of the silver proof set this year, but I did get the clad proof and I did get the mints, a couple of the mint sets. And I got this silly thing that'll be for sale. But, however, can we talk about this for a minute? Because I have some interesting stuff. What?
I did that to you yesterday too. Yeah, go ahead. We can talk about that. Let's pull it up.
What if, let's say for spits and giggles, all of these little privy mark things that I like to dislike so much, what if they just happen to be security features?
Can't hear you.
What if they just happen to be security features?
That's a different spin, but I like it.
It'll probably be one of them.
I betcha.
Let me correct something on that.
I'll bet you. I would bet a. I don't know what I would bet. I would bet a pack of Welch's fruit snacks. That's
going to get you a big bet.
Yeah.
I'm a high roller.
Man, I don't know what to do. So here's my thing about that. I understand the idea behind it, but you want me to tell you my spin on that? The mint is about 2 years behind the rest of the mints who actually know what the hell they're doing. And they're getting on board something that's worked with the Australian mint, that's something that's worked with the Royal Canadian Mint, something that's happened in Tupelo or Tulalau, whatever that is, Nui, right? They've been doing all this stuff. Now, I want to correct something real quick that Luther said. And the privy mark is a mint-made counter stamp. Remember that this is done with a laser engraving. Now,
it is not a counter stamp.
It is not a counter stamp, but I want to point something out very clearly, and I talked about this in a video that I did, as well as a little short.
Counter stamps are done to the coin.
You do need to pay attention because this will start people who don't understand what this is. They don't understand the difference between relief and cuse. They don't understand counter stamping versus laser engraving on the die. There is a lot of opportunity with these for deception. So when you're looking at these, you guys need to be very clear about looking at Is it incuse? If it's incuse on the coin, this is not a laser engraved die, because that means that it would have to be raised on the die. That's not how these things are done. It's raised on the coin, which means that it's incuse on the die. So it's not going to be a counter stamp. So as you guys start to have these things come out, you're going to have to pay attention to whether or not it is raised or whether it is something that is in the coin. Now, if you want to learn a little bit about that, I talked about that with the freaking sharks with laser beams. That's the Dr. Evil and the shark with the laser coming off his head. That's the thumbnail for that. How much metal is lost in laser engraving?
0.
Not a lot. And again, you're talking about steel. It's not like
0.
you're looking at...
These are engraved onto the die.
Yeah, so...
No metal is lost as far as the silver goes, because they're pressing the same weight planchet. Just
so let's go through this. Hold on real quick. Hold on. Paula, grab your die.
Grab my die.
Get the Play-Doh out, Paula.
Okay. No, so let me just walk through this. Okay.
Why did I die?
So see the top of that? That's the part that is engraved with the laser.
Yeah.
And they put the pattern in there in reverse. So it is the reverse of the item that you would see on the coin. That hasn't changed. It's still, the die is just being created without having to go through what's called the hubbing process. So they're not creating hubs anymore. They're actually engraving the die directly with lasers. This isn't happening on the coin. It's happening on that piece of metal that Paula has in her hand. That is where the laser engraving is occurring. That's where the pattern is being done. That's what gets put into the machine. And that's what hits the blank, or the planchet, excuse me, and turns that planchet into a coin.
I think they are still making a master hub.
Probably. JJ, you can come over to the other side. You know there's both sides, right? So Vice coins help me learn the process. Oh, yeah, Vice coins are a great teaching tool for teaching people the difference between what would happen. And again, this is why it's extremely important, folks. Know your minting process.
Know the minting process.
Right? That's going to really help you understand what is and what isn't happening. Yeah, no problem, Neil. It was a great question. It really was. This actually is a very good series of questions that have come out. And I appreciate Luther and Neil for asking these, because these are the little, oh, look at that. One that's
this
done.
This is what a die looks like before it is hubbed.
Before it's hubbed. Yep.
Yep.
And so when they're doing the laser engraving, that gets cut off with a laser instead of being smashed into the hub when they're making the master hub, master die combination pairing. Yeah, fun stuff. Matt Winge, cool. Always getting educated. Love it. I think all three of us on here love to do this, don't we?
I do.
Really? I mean, that's kind of what we go for, right? That's our kind of our thing, you know? Kind of our thing, y'all. I'm crossing my hands. You can't see me, but
hubba hubba.
Matt Winge always thought it was on the coin. Yeah, and so that's a common misconception. It's actually on that die. And again, I'm going to bring this back up. That flat surface there, this is actually a canceled die, right? They've actually taken off the pattern on that. And there, is that a nickel?
This is a dime.
A dime. And so what they've done is you can see that they've abraded away the design element. And I need to get one of those. That's one thing I keep saying I need to get me is one of those canceled dies. And you can buy them.
Yeah, you can buy them. You can buy them.
Over the years, they've been
orders.
sold them a few times.
Yep.
The original ones were actually, they took a torch and cut the face off with a torch.
Salivate Metal has one, and I'm trying to get him to will it to me. I've teased him about it twice. Salivate, if you're watching, kind of lurking, I want your canceled die from April 1st because April 1st is my birthday. So
You were born on April Fool's Day?
I'm born on April Fool's Day.
Boy, is that, if that ain't appropriate.
The joke was on my mom.
Oh, I'm going to scratch my kid. I don't want to do that. Mm-mm-mm.
But so yeah, again, it's the die where the laser engraving has actually happened. And so this was a really good opportunity. I'm actually glad that you had that die handy because this actually got to talk to people about. And again, you can buy canceled dies and then people can engrave their own stuff into it. Now, I have something in the works and I've got to reach out to the company that I'm talking to. I'm actually going to be going to a place that has some really cool things. And Sal's on vacation. Okay, gotcha. I'm going to be talking to him. He's actually doing a couple things for me. We're going to be doing some videos on the minting process, but from a really, really unique perspective. And so you'll be seeing more dies like this because we'll show you kind of how the die is done. They used to just cut an X out of the die. Yeah, that's exactly what they did to the flowing hair. They just cut an X into it. Yeah, that's what they showed the canceled die for that one. That's exactly what in the beautiful package. I just got notification that Copper Coins is going live. Are you?
I see that. I just got it too.
Hey, Chuck. What are you doing?
Chuck. He is doing a coin reveal. 816.
Oh.
1960D large date plastic tube roll. He'll be going on in 30 minutes. So I'll send you guys over to him as soon as we're done.
Yeah, go give Chuck a bad time.
So, but he'll be on in 30 minutes. I'll send you guys the link and I'll send you guys over to him. But yeah, so again, it's important to understand. It's important to understand the die process and. Huh?
That's my favorite.
For me,
fine, Aunt. That's not a bad one.
Milk spot to the right of the 5. No. No, that is part of the coin.
It's a scratch.
It's a scratch on the flip.
Yeah.
Milk spot. No.
You'd be surprised how many people think the mint marks are hand punched on the
flip.
Counter created
on the plastic.
Hold on. You would be surprised how many people think mint marks are hand punched on the counter creating RPMs.
Nope. How many people think mint marks are hand punched? Hand punched on the counter. What counter?
I think he's talking about actually put on the coins.
Oh, on the coin.
Yeah, so they were they're up until, what was it, 89?
89, and there is a rumor that a couple of the 1990 half dollars were hand punched.
Okay. But 89 was the last year that they actually hand punched those into the, is it the master die?
No, the working.
No, the working die.
The working dice. Okay. And so that's where they have a very specific tolerance that they're supposed to be, the location, and being done by hand, they vary. And maybe they hit it, and they didn't hit it hard enough one time, and the little die tool moved position or something.
And I mean, if any of you have ever used a letter punch or something on steel working, sometimes they bounce.
Yeah. And so maybe they hit it a little bit too light, maybe they hit a little bit too hard, whatnot. Hey, Josh, what's going on? Hey, did you get your package yet? He won something from Bifrost, and I had got into this trying to get stuff done. We had computer issues. You guys remember I lost everything. Had to start my entire thing over again. And I've been sitting on something that Bifrost drew for a month, and I finally sent it off to him, and I apologize for the delay. Hopefully you got that. I also sent AZ Coins something that he won. God almighty. A long time ago, I was going through some stuff, and I was like, oh, I need to get this off. So I apologize, you two, for the massive delay in sending Bifrost artworks. to you guys, but hopefully you guys get those. Azure Blue, Frosty, it'd be great for you to interview someone who works for or is the director of the U.S. or other sovereign mints. Okay, well, actually, I reached out. Let me pull something up really quickly because I've got permission to share some.
1994
Huh?
Ant was the first year that they were added to the design.
Oh, I
Added to
agree.
yeah,
So
1994 they were
1990 was the first year that most of them were hubbed. Are you talking about when the mid market were hubbed?
1994 was the first year that they added them to the models.
To the what?
To the models. When they
Oh,
were engraving the models or making them however they made them with the computers or that actually got made into the master hubs, the models.
oh, right. But like the metals, they still hand punch. If they do a metal and they do it at the Denver Mint, they still hand punch and mark in the metals.
Where are you getting that?
From Ken Potter,
Uh,
because he has some RPMs on the metals.
yeah, they don't do them. They don't still do them.
Well, I don't think Denver Mint has produced a metal in 5 or 6 years, have they?
I don't know when the last time they.
yeah, so Mike, they are difficult to get, but I've been talking with somebody, and I'm hoping. He said that he would come check out the stream. Hopefully, he watched a video or two. But I've actually been talking with a gentleman who is the CEO and the founder of Germania Mint, Sismon Kurowski. I talk to him on LinkedIn quite frequently. I've asked him to share some of his marketing stuff on my channel. And he's seen a couple of the shorts that I've done. And he's told me that I can take some of the Germania Mint videos that they create and release. And I'm more than happy to put them on my channel, obviously, as long as they get the credit and stuff like that. Neat guy, and I'm really trying to get him to come on. But here's the problem: these guys are busy. These guys are really busy. They are constantly looking through stuff and trying to identify. So it's hard to get some of these folks on there. And time frame, I would have to do it at something like 2 o'clock in the morning, my time, so that I could catch them in the morning when they have their most time. I am of the belief that if I'm going to invite somebody to do something, I'm going to do it when it's best for them. I don't want them waking up at 1 o'clock in the morning to do a live stream for me. I will do a live stream. I will record it and post a video, whatever I've got to do, and make it the most conducive for them. So coordinating things in that line of work is tough. But I have been talking with him. Hopefully he comes through. I've also been talking with somebody else who is in government to talk a little bit about some of the legislation. And I just can't seem to get him to commit. He wants to talk about this stuff, but as soon as I say anything about YouTube or something like that, he just is like, no. And so I keep trying to find people that I can bring on and do stuff like this. But yeah, Germania's awesome. And they just released something, and I'm going to probably do a short on it once I get his permission to share it. They've just released a new piece that is exquisite.
There, Eric. There's the listings for those.
Yeah, and so I'll probably post a short and share that. Yeah,
RPM.
they do some amazing things. So he's located in Poland, but yeah, he's got some really cool things. But do you guys know who Long Live Coin is?
Coin.
I'm going to pull this up. So Long Live Coin, he likes bees, and so one of his things is the bee. And
why does that sound familiar to me?
Probably because he's done some stuff, interviews with Aaron Burke.
Oh. Azure put the bee up. I don't know him.
Let me show you this. Um, this freaking thing. Oh my God, I love this. This was oh, actually, was this 2024? I thought it was 2025.
Ooh.
They're listing, they're releasing a new one, but why is it not coming up?
Be kind. That's right. Be kind. Be kind to each other. Oh, for Pedro, you're that the next Wounded Warriors is in like 2 months, huh?
Yeah, we got a full ramp up going on. I'm trying to get this thing. This goofy thing is not wanting to cooperate. Here, let me show you this. Look at this piece.
Interesting. Love the bee.
Oh, that's pretty.
Isn't that cool as hell?
What
10
is the
euro
metal,
coin.
though? What kind of metal is that?
It's silver and it's got some gilding and stuff
Oh,
on
it's
it.
colorized or something?
Yeah. Now
Okay.
they have a gold one. It's this is a 2-ounce silver. It's extremely high relief. You turn this coin sideways, it's just like, oh my God. And they have another one that is it's less it's the 5 euro, I think. But that the one that I'm showing you here, this is the 2-ounce. But they have a whole bee series. There's a whole history of the honeybees and stuff like that. Well, in 2025, they've got a new one. Now, this was, if I'm not mistaken, this was the coin of the year, 2024.
Whoa,
And
that's expensive.
yeah, but phenomenal looking piece. And then after, of course, after it made its coin of the year debut, the prices flew through the roof. And so he's got some stuff on that, and I'm going to try and pull that stuff up. And I want to get permission. Anytime I use somebody else's stuff, I want to get permission before I release it, unless it's copper coins, because then I have a
Now,
pretty much standing okay to use their stuff.
that Living whatever made that?
Huh?
I'm confused.
No, Long Live Coins. His symbol is the bee.
Oh, so okay.
And I was trying to give people an understanding of what the coin looks like. Yeah. But it's Germania mint, and it's just, man, it is a beautiful freaking piece. But they have got some really, really neat designs coming out. And so I'm trying to get him, what I would like to do is get him onto Stack Collector with him and Tiger, which is more of a stacking numismatist blend, and get him to come on and talk to a wider variety of people. And so hopefully I can work on that. And again, I've tried to a lot of different people, and I've reached out to a large number of folks. I've reached out to people like Sri Tips to talk about the melting of gold and purification of that stuff. And it's just hard to get those folks, especially for being a small channel. It's hard to get those people interested when they're looking at video views and there's 150, 200, 300, 400. And you look at some of these other channels that they're 24,000, 50,000, 100,000, 500,000, 500,000. It's hard for small channels like me to compete and get the big boys, because
Don't try to compete.
Well, but I'm talking about in getting the interviews. They want to go to the people where they're going to have the largest audience. And so they don't really connect well with the little guy.
Well, those are the people that I don't care about having on my channel then.
Yeah, but when you're talking about having big CEOs and big corporate people and stuff like that talk about the elements and what they're doing and what they're working on.
I'm going to tell you something. Matt and Mike have had some of the most amazing people in this hobby on their channel. And they had them on when their channel only had a few hundred subscribers. So don't cut yourself short.
It's not cutting myself short. Remember,
it depends on the person that you are interviewing,
Yeah.
what their motivation is.
Well, like Aaron has come up here, Jack has come up
Oh,
here, Jack Riley has
exactly.
come up here. Um,
Exactly.
you're
I'm up
here.
there.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Chuck has been up here, right? I
Yeah,
mean, I've had
exactly.
Salivate Metal's been on here, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I've had some really good people. And it's not that, oh my God, I'm so small, nobody wants to come see me. But there's a reality that the bigger channels get the bigger interviews. It's just a reality. It has nothing to do with the bearing of what I do, but the fact of the reality is, and we talk about this when it comes to volumes and numbers. Even if people have no clue what the hell they're talking about, have 200,000, 250,000, 300,000 subscribers.
You talking about young Zach, Jack? Young Zach, Jack.
Um, yeah, young Zach. I connected with him on Facebook, but we really haven't discussed anything. I want to do an introductory phone call between us. That's one of the people that I'm referencing, but there are other people who are um, more astute in the hobby. Let's just use that. Who claim because they have a piece of paper on their wall that they are smarter than the rest of us.
Well, let me tell you, there are also
Oh,
some
shots
big
fired.
channels that anyway, I'm not going to say anything. You know where I'm going with that. There are some bigger channels that are not worthy of having people
I'm
on.
not
Like,
worthy. I'm not
I'm just
worthy.
saying.
No, I
I
know. I
think
get
that
you.
people put too much, give too much credence to subscriber count and everything else when that is easily manipulated.
Okay, so I want you guys. This is something now. You guys,
Hello,
you
Chuck.
you guys
For
know
your ears
I
burning.
love bringing as accurate information as I can. You can tell this by the people that I surround myself with, right?
Yes, you did, Jack.
Jack Young, who is you guys don't know
Hi,
Jack
subscriber.
until
You
you meet
do.
Jack Young. Okay. Copper coins, what's up? Buy a Skyber. Yeah, exactly. We
Hi,
know a few of those
subscriber.
too, right?
You said what I
Um,
was trying not to
speak
say.
of the devil, copper coins. Chuck, good day. How you doing, brother? I still have to follow up with you. I apologize. I have been dropping the ball bad lately. Um, him and I have an idea for a stream, and I just have not connected with him
Nope.
to get this done. I need to do it. But you don't know Jack until you've met Jack about counterfeits until you've met Jack Young. Jack Young, if you go to Coin Week, you look up articles. I mean, it's just item after item after item after item after item after item. Proxy bid or proxy blog, excuse me, and seeing this stuff, right? Mike has told me the same thing that, oh, look at this. He just put it in chat. I have a
That's
plethora
amazing.
of amazing folks that come to the channel. I have been able to work with Chuck and Mike and Jack and Eric and Paula and just some amazing names. All of us have one thing in common: to provide you with the most possible accurate information, give you the facts, and then let you make up your mind.
Yep.
Okay? Make up your mind. But here's the thing: we have a very hard time, and Chuck and Paula and I, Eric, were you there when we did the counterfeiting book and the lady who stole all of Chuck's crap?
I was in
And
the chat. No, I wasn't
okay,
in the.
Oh yeah, I just put a nasty comment on one of her Facebook posts.
yeah, and so we have people
Dangerous.
that they just want to steal information and take everybody's stuff and claim credit for it. And you know, again, I say this with all our snarky sarcasm involved. Having a piece of paper on your wall doesn't make you a great resource, especially when every other video counteracts the video you spoke before. It's just not good. And yeah, Copper Owl, people buy subs, and we've looked at that, right?
Wow.
Now there are situations where you can look at people's information and it stands out. no subs for 5 months, and then all of a sudden they get 1,000 subs. What? Huh?
They
Their
can buy
views didn't
views
go up,
too,
right?
so they
And
can
there's
buy.
also channels. Go ahead, Paula. Sorry.
I just said they can buy views also. So,
Yeah,
um, but most of the time, when a person has purchased subscribers, or someone else has purchased them for them, most of the time it's fairly obvious
agree.
because the subscriber count goes up really fast and the views don't match. So it's fair. I said that without saying a B. Let's just stop at A. But it is pretty obvious. And whatever, I think and I don't know how YouTube works. Maybe YouTube does push them if they have a higher subscriber count. Maybe they do get picked up more by their algorithm. I don't know. I also know that these vertical streams, they tend to bring in more people, more views and stuff like that.
I
So
get a
people
lot of
like
my subs from that side.
Diggin' Dave and I love Diggin' Dave. He got a lot of subscribers when he started doing the vertical count, and good for him. Like, I am so happy for him because he's a good channel. Yeah, so but how long can you sustain that? You know what I mean?
Well, and so one thing that this is one reason that I stream in both. One, I want to give people who don't like the widescreen format, and there are people who don't like it, but most people don't like the portrait view that like the widescreen format. So there's two different types of people that come in here. I stream both ways so that I can be as diverse as possible to people to be on whatever platform they want to view. There's good and bad parts to it. The problem that I have is that I started doing shorts fairly early because I wanted to grow my subscriber count and I wanted to get people aware of my channel. And I did it kind of to my chagrin because I don't get the long format view hours that some people do, but I'm getting plenty of subscribers. Now, I get a lot of repeat people that come back in and ask about questions. But people find a video, they like the story, they subscribe, they watch one or two videos, and then they come back in 2 months when they're looking for something on a coin and they watch another video, they comment. And you know what? I'm fine with that. I don't need somebody watching all my content all the way through every time. This is why a majority of my stuff is what they call evergreen. It can be used by anybody at any time. It's not topic based. Now today's conversation. Yeah, Chuck, I announced that as soon as I got notification. I will be
Yeah.
ending here in just a second.
Yep. We're gonna go.
But it's like there's people who will come to my channel only to find certain things. Paula, you guys have the same issue at LiveCoin Q&A. A lot of people come to your channel to look for a very specific item. They get what they want, and then they don't come back until they have another question.
Well, and we also had a lot of Sean's people would come to our channel, use our email, use us to answer their questions and stuff like that, and never subscribe to our channel.
Yeah, that's kind of bum. That's bunk.
It was a double-edged sword because, and I'll be completely honest with you guys. When Sean first came on, it was kind of we'll scratch your back, you scratch our back, right? We will handle your emails and help you out with your emails. We didn't do all of them. He did them too, but we helped him. And you pushed the channel. So it was you scratch our back, we'll scratch your back. I mean, we love Sean and he's part of our family, but in the beginning that was a thing. We'll help you, you help us. But it didn't turn out that way because for whatever reason, the people who watched him, they didn't like our long format. I'm sure that's what it was because we were a long format. We did mostly lives. He did short videos, things like that, that people, it was just different. So,
And again, people have different reasons to going to certain channels. Sometimes you just like the person. You're not there to listen to the content. I have, people that joke with me all the time and they're like, when you're live, you don't have the same deep voice that you do. And I'm like, you want to listen to a deep voice that's soothing? Go listen to Chuck.
oh yeah.
If that's what you want to listen to, go listen to Chuck. There are other people like Jack, and Jack and I have talked about this. Actually, he just posted it in chat. Good timing. I like videos where I can sit down for 20, 30 minutes and actually take something and learn, right? There are some people who just want that quick fix, that 3-second pulse of information.
Yes,
Scroll, 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 find something you like, watch it. And then, we had somebody come in earlier say, hey, just come across Frostbite, watch 3, 4, 5 videos and ended up binging on a whole bunch of stuff. We have those folks too. I want my view counts to go higher. Absolutely. I'm actually just about to hit 1 million views. I'm 968,000 views. Okay, almost about to 1 million views. Really cool. Yeah, John, Chuck's voice is, I'm not going to say dreamy, but he's got a nice voice. And so I really want to hit those milestones. I like hitting those milestones. They're fun.
Of course you do.
And I want the channel to be self-sufficient, right? I don't want to have to continue to pay for all these web services and cameras, equipment out of my own pocket. I'd love for the thing to support itself. It's close, it's just not there. And that comes with time. But I'm okay growing my channel slowly. I had one freak event on my stream and it caused kind of just like, what the hell is going on? Figured out what it was, and it just happened to be a Frostbite coin and Frostbite coins, the same color pattern. One was a cryptocurrency software that was coming out. And I had just changed all of my headers and footers and viewers and changed the graphics and everything. And I got picked up on this Bitcoin thing, and all of a sudden I got 1,800 Indian subscribers. Oh, we can account for that. Know what happens there. But the problem with having a great subscriber jump like that is I didn't increase any watch hours.
And he had people like me going, are you buying subs? What's going on?
Well, and when we actually went through and tried to find out what was happening. Oh yeah, it took me a long time. And
I confronted him. I'm like, excuse me, something's fishy.
Yeah, so if you go look at Frostbite Coin and you do Frostbite Coin crypto, you will see the blue, you'll see a cryptocurrency software, and it comes from India. And what happened, and there's a little bit more to this. We only have a minute left, and I need to bail. But what happened was the people that were doing the ad research that were pushing this stuff out to market this somehow got my coins, Frostbite coins, because I had just changed from Frostbite coins and collectibles to Frostbite coins. And I had changed my logo, changed the stuff, and people were going, oh, check this out. They've got stickers, they've got all sorts of other stuff that are doing it. They're appealing to a different audience. And they picked me up and they put me in their marketing plan. And it was like 4 days, I had 1,800 more subscribers. Jack says I have a voice for articles. That's funny. But that's what happened with mine. But we can account for it. There was a massive boom in a couple of videos. People were looking at it, but there was no massive spike. We identified it. I explained to everybody exactly what was happening, and I can account for the peak. But if you look at my growth follows a steady parabolic curve up. My views follow that same basic curve up. My subscriber counts, it's plus 10, plus 8, plus 5, plus 10, plus 8, plus 5, plus 10, plus 2, minus 1, plus 5, minus 3, plus 2, plus 5, minus 1, right? And it's constantly on that all the time. Don't bail on my account. No, it's time anyway for me to go. My wife and I are going to, we talked about cooking breakfast. My daughter's here. Both my sons are home. They're not working. So we're going to do breakfast, more like brunch, kind of visit and hang out this morning. So my plan was to cut off at 10 o'clock.
Guys, see you next week. Go to Copper Coins, everybody. You'll learn a lot.
Again, I'm going to put that in chat. Go check out Copper Coins. That's there. I'm going to pin this.
Love you guys. Have a great, blessed Sunday. Bye.
Okay, so that's been done. Bye, Paula.
We will see you next weekend, Frostbite. Looking forward to it.
Take it easy, Eric. We'll see you later. All right, folks. Well, hey, I hope you guys enjoyed this. And if you guys want to learn more in-depth policy and process questions, if you want to learn more about what's happening, what's being released, you want to learn more about the process. Again, we can dig into the laser engraving of the die and walk through that process. If you guys have something that you want to talk about, maybe it's the Saturday morning mint theft that you want to come in for. If you have an idea, and Mike is phenomenal with ideas. He's given me a couple for the stream, so I appreciate that. Send me your ideas and let me know, and we will put some stuff out for you. I have zero problem doing some research for you guys. All right, go click on that link. Go over, check out Copper Coins. Do me a favor when you're there. Tell them it's a Frosty raid. Let him know that you came over from the channel. And if you're not subscribed to him, go subscribe. Very, very knowledgeable. He basically wrote the book on Lincoln Cents. All right, folks, I love you guys. Be well, be blessed. I will see you in the streams. Take care.